way that we actually look at our internal reality is through our engagement survey. Now, again, if you're working at a larger company, then you'll surely have an engagement survey. And that is an awesome tool that very often is not utilized by the employer brand folks. But that tool, and you do it annually, will tell you by region, by country, by function, by job level, what your own employees feel about your company, right? So on all the topics that are important to us. So that is where we already started thinking, hey, with that sort of idea that we need to have an engaged workforce, which from a corporate perspective internally is as well very high on the agenda, how can we better leverage the data, but as well, how can we work better together with the internal teams? Because most likely, and I'm generalizing here, in a lot of companies, employer branding is a TA thing, right? So I don't sit in TA, by the way, I sit in talent management. But when you think about it, we're only really focusing on the external market. And I've been in this type of roles for a very long time. And I can tell you, and it might be because the companies I worked at, but it was always a TA thing. There was always this massive disconnect with the internal culture and engagement. So what we did was, and it's work in progress, is look at, so what are these drivers of engagement? These are kind of the big buckets that we saw. Purpose, learning and development, so growth, it's inclusion, belonging, it's feeling trusted, having a certain autonomy. Well-being is a big bucket, right? So your safety and wellness, your comp, which obviously scores very high on any kind of survey, your work-life balance, and then focus and adaptability. And what we actually noticed was like, wow, if we look at these external surveys about what candidates find important, there is so much overlap, right? So learning and development, future career, safety, your work-life balance, compensation. People want to hear about belonging and diversity. There is so much overlap that, well, employer branding is not just an external thing. It's both, right? So interesting, obviously, that was just mentioned. Like, hey, I think right after this one, is it recruitment or retention? Well, it's both for me, right? So it's about why you want to join a company, but equally important, why you want to stay at a company. And that started thinking as well, like, how do we connect the internal dots? And I know that more companies are working on this, but hey, when you talk about attracting, the hiring, the onboarding, belonging, performance, up to an exit, they should all be aligned.